Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5:30 in the morning. It is time to start another episode of Sketching and Coffee Live with the Artistic Biker. This is when we pull out one of 400 toys that I have in the Random Object Randomogrifier, and we attempt to sketch it in a 30-minute time span. And it's a hard limit. I have to set a hard limit. Yesterday I almost ran over because I was drawing something that I was really excited to draw, and that was a heffalump. And so today the toy is a lot smaller, but I'm not going to make the same mistake I made yesterday. Yesterday I skipped the composition phase and ended up with not enough room on the page. Ended up with the spacing was off, and so today I want to make sure that I get everything where it's supposed to go. So I'm going to take the time to focus on the composition. Today's a Triceratops, which happens to be one of my favorite dinosaurs. It means three-horned face. Sorry, can't talk. Farting. This is a young one in this picture. It's an adolescent. Or in this model, rather. It's an adolescent, but I would venture to say that the people who made the toy don't know that it's an adolescent. The way to tell it's an adolescent is the direction its horns face. When they're very young, their horns point up. And as they get older, their horns start to face forward. And it's speculated that is because that is the direction of their enemies. Their predators, for instance, which would have included Tyrannosaurus Rex. But their predators, when the Triceratops is very young, the predator is way above them, so their horns stick up. But when the Triceratops is fully grown, horns stick forward, so they can go toward the vital organs of the Tyrannosaurs. But I would venture to say the people who made this toy probably are not aware of that. When they initially discovered that, they thought that it was several different species of Triceratops. So they started giving them several different names, like Susan and Steve and Bob. But Sarah's the name that stuck. Good morning, Claudia. Is it another beautiful sunny day in the Netherlands? We're having a string of nice weather here in Houston, America. Low 90s during the highs. I'm not quite ready for summer. Summer's going to happen whether I'm ready for it or not, though. So I mean, what do you do? But I'm not quite ready for summer, because what that means around here is our electric bills go through the roof, trying to keep our houses from baking us at night while we sleep. The electric bill in the winter might be $75, but in the summer it can easily be $300, $400, closer to $400. Is that supposed to be his eye forward of its horn? It is. Okay. It's a toy. Have to remember it's a toy. Alright. Composition's going. Now, you know what? The camera hasn't changed. There we go. Missed all the composition. Oh, we got a Christopher? Let's see Elizabeth. I didn't see a Christopher. I see somebody said hi, Christopher, but I don't see a Christopher. Claudia says she has the perfect summer body for others to have shadow. Which is funny, because my philosophy on that is if you want the perfect summer body, have a body and let it be summer. Everybody worries about how they look when they put their bathing suit on, they go out. And I don't know a single person on their deathbed that lays there saying, man, I wish I'd cared about what other people thought one more time. I wish just one more time I had not done what I wanted to do because I was afraid of what somebody else might think of me. Not a single person thinks that on their deathbed. So that's my take on it. That's why I wear a Speedo. I'd wear a Speedo to work if they'd let me. It's not true, I don't wear a Speedo. It's not true, I don't wear a Speedo. I'd look good in a Speedo. Give me just a second to get. I'm a little focused on where this shadow is, and then I'll catch up on the chat. I think that's it. Got a shadow coming across here. What was that? I wonder what was going on right there. What did I think was going to happen right there? Probably that. All right, let's get some form going on here. Do. There we go. That was nice. So Claudia made me look something up yesterday. I know she didn't. That wasn't her intention. But yesterday we drew an elephant, and you know, what feels like 100 years ago, I read that the elephant's scientific name was Loxodonta, and Loxodonta, and you know, that's Greek. It means horn. It means lozenged tooth. And back then, I internalized that as meaning the shape of the tusk, thinking that the African elephants had a more rounded shape to their tusk than the Asian elephants, and I never thought anything else about it. Never came up again. Fast forward to day before yesterday, when I'm reading back up on elephants, and I see the Loxodonta name again, and I decided to include that as one of my factoids about the heffalumps yesterday. And Claudia mentions that it's Greek, and she didn't intend to do anything else. She just was telling me, she's just asking about it being Greek and my understanding of it. But it made me think, well, maybe I should go back and look and make sure that I know what I'm talking about. And I went back and looked, and it had nothing to do with tusks. The lozenged shape from the Loxodonta is a rounded shape on their molars that on the Asian elephants is narrower. And I feel better for having told you, because this whole time I was like, oh, I told him wrong. Oh no, I told him wrong. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And so we're having a little editorial correction today, sparked by our dear friend Claudia bringing to my attention that it was a Greek word. I'm not really scribbling back and forth. I'm actually making kind of a loop. I'm going in the direction that I want the light to go, and I'm picking my pencil up and going back. It looks like I'm scribbling. It looks like I'm scribbling back and forth, but I'm actually picking my pencil up to make a little loop. That helps me keep the strokes even. Sloping teeth. She says she read it to mean sloping teeth. Like I said, the first time I was exposed to it was 100 years ago. Probably at the Oklahoma City Zoo. I internalized that and never thought anything else about it. You know how you think you know something, and so you never, once you know something, you never think about not knowing it again? And then one day, you realize, you know what, I really probably didn't really know that. I thought I knew that. But it turns out that all of society was wrong. That never happens, right? Like, seriously though, who would classify a dinosaur, who would classify an animal by a feature you can't see from the outside? I mean, you're talking about the 1800s. Who would say, let's classify this animal by where its liver is? Now I'm scribbling. I don't have any real reason to scribble. But for some reason now I'm scribbling. I think we have her shading down. Let's move on to her. We've got about 10 minutes left, so let's move on to the drop shadow. So yeah, Claudia, like you said, it probably matters where you read it too. Where I read it, they said it meant this thing. You know, I'm sure if you learn it in Reader's Digest, which I learned a lot of stuff from Reader's Digest when I was a kid, but I'm sure if you learned it from Reader's Digest, it means a whole lot more. It's a whole lot different than if you learned it from, say, Scientific America or the Journal of Paleontology. I learned more stuff from Reader's Digest than I ever learned from the Journal of Paleontology. Mostly because Reader's Digest came to the house once a month. You know, I still subscribe to Reader's Digest. I get it electronically now. Comes to me on my e-reader. All right. Claudia caught the liver comment. Yeah, it is certainly warming up here in Houston. Electric bills are soon to begin spiking. Not only do we use more electricity trying not to bake in our houses, but they raise the rates in the summertime to encourage us not to turn our air conditioners up, to encourage us to conserve electricity. It makes me want to invest in, they have these lithium batteries that people are using as backups instead of generators, and it makes me want to invest in a lithium battery to store electricity from the winter time, from the winter rates. so that I'm not paying summer rates. I don't know how effective that would be, but at the very least I could put a couple of solar panels out. I think that's a nice little Triceratops. What do you think? My mom's bragging on me about, she's in the chat room bragging on me about not reading fiction. You know, I do actually read fiction. The fiction that I read, though, is embarrassing. But I'm not going to lay on my deathbed and say, man, I wish I cared one more time about what somebody thought about what I read. Because I like stuff like the Dresden Files, Dune. Those things are really good. They're well written. They're really good stories. But I actually like stuff like Cask of the Warrior and Tarzan better than I like the Dresden Files. And those books are just pure, I mean, sex and violence. What more could a growing boy want? Alright, calling it. He says as he draws one more line, just make one more line. I just need one more line. I just need something to explain that form just a little better. Like that. I like that. Alright, let's call it. What is today? It's the 16th. I have to be strict. I have to be strict. I have to say 30 minutes is my limit. So let's show you guys what we have going on. Bye, Elizabeth. So there she is compared to the photograph. The camera's blurry for some reason. There she is compared to the photograph. Let's see what she looks like compared to the stage. When you see how tiny she is, of course you may have already recognized how tiny she is. But she is super tiny. I think we got a pretty good shape going on there. 9 out of 10. Thanks, Claudia. Alright. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. You know we love to do this every morning at 5:30 in the morning. So we show up every day, we draw, we sketch, we drink coffee, we tell stories. Sometimes we lie and get it wrong. And today we made corrections from yesterday, but that's what we do here. We chat. Thank you so much for joining me. We look forward to it. Hope to see you all again tomorrow. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And then we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing. And then when somebody says they see me dancing, then I can stop dancing. I want to make sure that the stream has caught up so I don't